another edition of Vision Sport 360 here on Wonderland Television. I'm Austin Arome here to take you through the ever exciting world of sport. And looking at what we have in store for you today, we're going to be taking a look at the Super Falcons versus South Africa, Bayana's game, the Olympic qualifiers, which is the last round of the Olympic qualifiers, and also we'll try to look at basketball where Devin Booker scored 52 points. The Phoenix Suns beat New Orleans Pelicans to boost their chances of qualifying for the NBA playoff. And also look at the English Premier League title race is beginning to hot up over the weekend. We saw what happened. Manchester City played against Arsenal, and it was a goalless draw. A lot of people actually called that boring, but then the aim for Arsenal has been achieved. The aim is definitely to get something out of that game at the Etihad Stadium. And we'll also take a look at the fixtures for tonight's game. Talking about games that will be going down today. Everton will be in action. Quite a lot of games as the case may be. So we'll look through the fixture and see, how that pans out. So Everton will be playing today. The likes of Manchester City and Arsenal will also be playing tomorrow. Also give you information coming from the Nigerian Professional Football League. All this and more we're going to talk about on the show. But before we do that, we have to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go into the stories in detail. Welcome back to the show, and talking about what we have for you today. We're going to start from the home front just like we usually do, and this time we'll talk about the Super Falcons upcoming game. That's the Olympic qualifier between Super Falcons and the Bayana of South Africa. Let's tell you that we have 11 players who have arrived at camp ahead of Friday's 5th of April duel, so to say, against the Bayana of South Africa. Let's give you the list of the players that are in camp already. We have Tony Payne, Deborah Abiodun, we have Gift Monday, Jennifer Oshekini, Shukurat Oladekbo, we have Shidima Okeke, and we also have Linda Joako, all in camp at the moment. And following the latest arrivals, the Super Falcons players are now 14 in number, as at talking about the number of players at the camp now after these latest rounds of arrival. And then still being expected, we have the likes of Michelle Alozie, Alimatu Aide, Risola Babajide, Esther Koro, Ifoma Onumonu, and Azizat Oshola, as well as Shinwendu Ihiozuha. The first leg, just like I said, will be on Friday, 5th of April, at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja, while the second leg will be played on Tuesday, 9th of April, which is going to be in South Africa. So, looking at the history of this fixture between Nigeria and South Africa, there's this rivalry between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Bayana Queen, the senior national women's team of the South African, of South Africa, so to say. So the Bayana, they are defending champions. They've showed what they can do, beating Morocco in the final of last year's African Women Championship. And the Super Falcons will be looking to, make a return, to the Olympics. They've not, been present in two successive Olympics, and this time around they are so close to snatching the ticket, and they are not taking it lightly. And standing in their way of getting this ticket is a very, very formidable Bayana team. And one thing that actually is surprising me at this point in time is the fact that we have just few days to the day where the match is going to be played. Friday, today is Tuesday, and we still have just 14 players right there in camp. So you're talking about the time it's going to take for these players to get to train and prepare very well for that important game against the South African side. Probably, they are all tied down due to club engagements. We know how these things work. Sometimes you have to actually obey or do the biddings of your parent club before you can actually join your national team, because they are the one footing your bills. They are the one paying your salary and all that. So we understand, but then I'm just thinking about the time it's going to take for these girls to actually train and prepare really well for that important game against South Africa. And just to let you know that Ashley Prompty has been ruled out of that game against South Africa due to injury. So a big miss, a big blow to the hopes of an aspiration of the Super Falcons of getting that Olympic ticket. Ashley Prompty getting injured, we know what that means to team. We know how important she is to the team. We know what she's capable of, and she was actually quite superb for Nigeria at every match she's played for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So we wish her the very best as she tries to recover from that injury. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at basketball right now, where in the NBA, Devin Booker scored 52 points as the Phoenix Suns beat New Orleans Pelicans 124 to 111 points to boost their chances of qualifying for the NBA playoff. Kevin Durant added 20 points and Yusuf Nurkic 19, as well as 5 Phoenix starter finished with the double figures. Phoenix are now just one game behind the sixth place New Orleans, who occupy the final automatic playoff spot in the Western Conference. As this stands, Phoenix will enter the play-in tournament. The tournament determines the 4 remaining places in the post-season, with 2 teams progressing from each conferences. Suns will also will also mean the third place. Minnesota's are guaranteed a place in the playoff. Elsewhere, Jason Tatum and Sam Husser scored 25 points each as the Boston Celtics, who have already secured the top spot in the Eastern Conference, beat Charlotte Hornets 118 to 104 points. Kristaps Porzingis scored 20 points, Derek White 19, and Al Horford 15 for Boston's, who improved to 59 to 16. Orlando Magic held off a late rally from the Portland Trail Blazers to win 104 to 103 points in the 5th place against the 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Jadri 18 had a 12-foot jumper fall just short as the buzzer sounded that would have won the game for the Western Conference strugglers at Portland Trail Blazers, who have lost 10 games in a row. The Indiana Pacers remains on course for an automatic playoff spot in the East after beating the Brooklyn Nets 113 to 111 points. Tyrese Halliburton scored with 27 points and Jalen Smith 17 off the bench as Indiana remained in 6th, 2 wins ahead of 7th place Miami Heat. Brooklyn stays 11th as all but eliminated from the playoff contention. Bogdanovic scored 20 points at 10th place. Atlanta Hawks won 113 to 101 points at 9th place Chicago Bulls, with both teams on course for a place in the playoff tournament. So interesting things happening in the NBA, as you can see with this result. It could mean that the likes of Brooklyn Nets, the likes of Miami Heat, the likes of even the Phoenix Suns, even the likes of I'm talking about quite a whole lot of good teams might miss out on this year's NBA playoff. And it's actually quite interesting, but then there's still a couple of them that are with a chance of progressing to the next round of the NBA. Talking about the playoff, and we have to talk about the Phoenix Suns as well. They have a chance, just one team separating them and from the playoff. So we would like to take a short break, and when we come back, we still have more to talk about right here on Vision Sport 360. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back, Vision Sport 360, right here on Wonderland Television. And moving on, this time around, we'll be talking the football as Manchester City's goal poacher, talking about Erling Haaland, is of the opinion that his team, Manchester City, can still win the English Premier League title despite their goalless draw with title contender Arsenal on Sunday. The encounter, which took place at the Etihad Stadium, saw Manchester City and Arsenal hand Liverpool the advantage as far as the Premier League is concerned. The Norwegian, talking about Haaland, is undoubtedly the best striker in the league, perhaps in the world. He has scored 29 goals with 6 assists in 35 games with his phenomenal return. However, the likes of William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes on Sunday, Haaland struggled and had 0 shots on target, which had, Roy Keane comparing him to a League Two strikers. He said that Haaland, when it comes to scoring goals, is the best. Is one of the best, if not the best. But then, when it comes to him handling the ball or tracking back, with the ball on his feet, Haaland is like a League Two striker, which is actually quite funny at the end of the day. And looking at how that pans out, that has actually handed Liverpool the advantage. Considering the kind of fixtures that they have, looking at the fixtures of all these sides, let's actually try to look at the fixtures as far as these teams are concerned for the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. For Manchester City, they still have to play Luton. They still have to play Sheffield United. They still have to play Aston Villa. They still have to play Brighton. They still have to play Tottenham Hotspur. They still have to play Wolverhampton Wanderers. So looking at the fixtures for these sides, it's quite similar, so to say. They have quite a number of teams that they have to play. They have to play, talking about City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. They still have to play Tottenham Hotspur. They still have to play, Liverpool played Brighton over the weekend, but Manchester City and Arsenal, they still have to play Brighton as well. Liverpool will have to play Aston Villa. Manchester City will still have to play Aston Villa. And Arsenal as well will have to play Aston Villa. Arsenal still has Crystal Palace. Liverpool still has Crystal Palace. Manchester City will still be playing against Crystal Palace. So in terms of the number of fixtures, it's quite similar. Arsenal as well still have Manchester United to play against. They have Chelsea to play against. While Liverpool, they have Manchester United game to get over with. And looking at this fixture, everyone is saying Liverpool has the advantage by virtue of the kind of fixture that they have, and the number. The number of points that separating them right now. 2 points separating them from Arsenal, and the English Premier League continues right there as far as tonight is concerned. Now let's take a look at the fixtures for tonight's game. We're going to have Newcastle United taking on Everton. We have Nottingham Forest against Fulham. AFC Bournemouth will take on Crystal Palace, while Burnley will take on Wolverhampton Wanderers as West Ham United take on Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur are chasing that top four. They're in fifth place, but then they're not giving up. They want to get that top four, get into Champions League. Hans Postecoglou in his very first season playing that entertaining football, and everyone is in love with what Tottenham Hotspur are doing at the moment. But then, is that going to be enough to take them to the UEFA Champions League? Your guess is as good as mine. Tomorrow as well, there'll be fixtures. Arsenal will be playing tomorrow. Manchester City as well will be playing tomorrow. So they have the advantage to actually push the pressure back to Liverpool. If Arsenal can win against Luton, they move to the top of the table by just a single point. And Manchester City will be playing as well tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting one. Let's see how that pans out. Will Manchester City, and Arsenal leapfrog Liverpool and put that pressure on them? Tomorrow we're going to find out as well. So we have other fixtures, but then we're not going to talk about them. Maybe when we come tomorrow for the show, we'll give you the list of the matches that will be played tomorrow as far as the English Premier League is concerned. Now let's take a look at boxing, as the WBO African champion Oluwaseun Wahab is set to feature on the undercard of the Ring of Fire. That is the night when WBC champion Tyson Fury and unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk will meet for their undisputed bout. Talking about on the May 18th, right there in Saudi Arabia. Wahab will battle the unbeaten British boxer Mark Chamberlain in the 10th round lightweight clash at the Kingdom Arena, that's in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Nigerian boxers hold an impressive record of 23 wins and 1 loss, with 16 of his victories coming via knockout, while the Brits hold an undefeated 15 victories and 11 knockouts, as it promises to be an entertaining clash between both boxers. Undefeated in Africa, where he's fought in Nigeria and Ghana. His only career loss came when he made his UK debut against Liam Dillon at York Hall Bethnal Green in London. However, suffered a majority decision loss in the fight, and he has since made up for it with an 11-round technical knockout win over Shikiru Shogbesa to defend his title at the main event of the Rumble in Las Gidi. The WBO African Super Featherweight champion will be eager to make it back-to-back wins when he takes the ring at the star-studded event in Saudi Arabia. So that's about it as far as the boxing bout is concerned. Also, let's switch gears now. Let's talk about the tennis, where Aruna Khatri has threatened a legal action against World Table Tennis. Aruna actually shared the detail of how he struggled to compete in one of the World Championships but couldn't due to illness, and ended up being punished by the organization. And tennis star Khatri has launched a fiery attack on the World Table Tennis, questioning its practices after facing point deduction at an undisclosed fine. Aruna had threatened legal action if it's denied by the WTT. WTT, established in 2019 by the International Table Tennis Federation, organized a commercial table tennis tournament. Aruna frustration stems from the mandatory nature of the event, unpaid prize money, and he received unfair penalty. So Aruna Khatri not happy with the treatment right there from the WTT treatment method on him for missing a particular game. He's been docked some number of points. At the same time, he's going to be fined, which Aruna Khatri is not quite happy about. We'll take another short break, and when we come back, we'll see what we have with the time that we have left right here on the show. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. the show, and this time around, we're talking Nigerian Professional Football League as it's hotting up right there. Abia Warriors are in the news, Bendel Insurance in the news as well. We have Enyimba as well in the news. Let's start with Abia Warriors, where their captain Augustine Njoku is saying that his team is adequately prepared for that clash against Plateau United. Njoku, whose team, talking about Abia Warriors, triumph over Enyimba in a morale booster for the final. A morale booster for the players ahead of the March 28th tie, which will be happening tomorrow, Wednesday, against the Peace Boys. Talking about Plateau United, Abia Warriors and Plateau United will be played at the Umahia Township Stadium, and courtesy of that victory over Enyimba, it means that the boys are actually poised to actually go far and win that match to actually boost their chances of staying back in the league. And talking about Bendel Insurance, who are gearing up for their March 29, as the Abia Warriors are preparing for March 28th. Bendel Insurance are already thinking about playing their 29th game of the season. They won also their FA, talking about the State Federations Cup, defeating Matrix FC in the final, and the assistant coach of the side is aware of the task ahead, and they are actually poised to deliver, and their match will be against Niger Tornadoes right here tomorrow at Samuel Ogbomodia Stadium, which is going to be a win for them. Will actually push them to number 9 on the table with a 37 point from 28 games. Also, Enyimba's technical advisor Finidi George is expecting a difficult battle against Kano Pillars. The Elephants will lock horns with Kano Pillars at the Enyimba International Stadium. Also, the match is going to be played tomorrow. So the Nigerian Professional Football League hotting up, and we're gradually wrapping up the league, just like it's happening in other climes of the world. In the past, it's always the Nigerian Professional League does not always sync with the European calendars, or or some other African countries where the league is being played simultaneously, like it's been done in Europe. But it seems like in the NPFL, talking about the Nigerian league, has adjusted its calendar, and we're pretty much in tune with what is happening in other climes around the world. So a very good one coming from Nigerian Professional Football League. They've played March 29th already, so interesting one, and we're looking forward to more improvements from the management of the league. It is on that note we'll say thank you for joining us on today's edition of Vision Sport 360. I want to thank the back crew, the production crew, for doing a good job, and to you, our viewers, thank you for watching, and have a lovely day ahead.